Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, to the podcast. Today we have an incredible legend in the house. You all know him. You have been requesting him forever. We have Jonny Juicer. Hey, what's up?
Man, it's great to be here. I was super excited to come on after seeing all the interviews you've had. It's awesome. So,
Yay. Well,
you.
We're stoked to have you. Thanks. And there's so much to get into. You're a legend, like Jonny the Juicer. So I want you to take us back to, you've had such a health journey. You've had highs and lows, raw vegan, cooked vegan. You're Italian too. And I think you thought like I would like to go raw vegan as an Italian.
Yeah, it's pretty challenging, especially when you live in like the meat and dairy capital of the world in Chicago. So
yeah. Well, take us back. I want to know your journey, where it started. Did you start with juicing, or I know you were raw for like 5 months or vegan for 5 months before you went raw.
Yeah.
But where did everything start and how did it change your life?
I'll start with how like my whole health journey started. You know, like you said, growing up in an traditional Italian family, most of my family, my grandparents, my mom, they were big cooks, you know, home cooked meals. But what I started noticing was in a very young age, like 7, 8 years old, like gut issues, like diarrhea, or I couldn't go to the bathroom. So it was in 8th grade, I had my first colonoscopy, and I was told that wasn't fun. And it was it was crazy because it's like for the first half of it, like I wasn't like completely sedated. So I saw the camera like going in and I was like, it was terrible experience. But anyway, I was told I had IBS, lactose intolerant. So I had to was supposed to limit the dairy unless I took pills for it. And, you know, it was hard. Pizza growing up was everything for me. I loved pizza. I loved cheese on my pasta and cheese on everything, you know? And so going into high school, you know, I was an athlete. I played basketball all 4 years. I played soccer prior to that. So I was always very active, but you know, it just wasn't fun always feeling that way. I mean, there'd be days where I wouldn't go to the bathroom, and then there'd be days where I couldn't stop going to the bathroom. And I'll never forget, like my junior year of playing basketball, there was a couple times like I had to go to the bathroom like during the game, you know, and it's just, and I actually had a pass my whole senior year where I can just leave anytime for, you know, a doctor's note basically, which I kind of took advantage of. I'd always go visit all my friends in class and goof around. I was a clown. So, but that's kind of like where it was. And I guess things really progressively got worse when I got out of high school, because then I'm going to a junior college with my friend who's driving there, and we're going to Wendy's every day. And so I wasn't just eating my mom's, you know, home cooked meals. I started eating more fast food. I started eating more on the go. I was eating more, just a lot of crap. And then turned into getting into a job. I worked at FedEx. I got a job at FedEx when I was like 21. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was at junior college. I was actually trained to be a firefighter. I had my EMT license, and then I just fell into FedEx and ended up starting driving there. And as you can imagine, it was like a very demanding job, always on the go. And I, you know, Wendy's turned into 7-Eleven Big Gulps and, you know, gas station hot dogs. I mean, whatever I can just get on the go.
Yeah.
So I worked that job for 12 years. And just as the years went on, I started putting on more weight. I was always feeling like crap. I was also drinking all the time on the weekends. I mean, from Thursday to Sunday, I was drinking alcohol, and I mean, getting blacked out drunk most of the time, eating like crap afterwards. Didn't have a lot of energy because of all the crap that was going on with me internally. I also had migraines. I was always suffering from migraines. So because I didn't have the energy, I would always pound Monsters. I would do 2 Monsters a day.
The energy drinks?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
One in the morning, one at lunch, just to get me through the day. So it was just a vicious cycle I was in. And I'll never forget, I was turning 31, and I would always watch documentaries. And I had watched Food Inc. I had watched but nothing ever really got me. And sure enough, I was on Netflix one night, and I was eating I'll never forget this. I was eating a deep dish Lou Malnati's pizza, and I had a Mountain Dew Code Red. And I'm flipping through Netflix, and I see Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. And I'm like, let's check this out. And wow, to this day, and I've seen, you know, Earthlings, powerful documentary, what the health. To this day, for me, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead was the most powerful film that I needed to see, because up until being 31 years old, I had never seen a juicer. I never knew what a juicer was. Like when people would say they like to juice, I thought it was just like blending a smoothie.
Yeah.
So seeing that and seeing how Joe Cross was able to not just heal himself, but inspire others to take the initiative, like, you know, the guy that was like 400, it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
And to the point where I literally went and got the same juicer the next day at Bed Bath & Beyond.
No way. I love it. Bed Bath & Beyond. Wow.
Well, actually, I didn't. I got an upgrade. I got the Breville Elite the next day. And I went online and I saw the Joe Cross and Dr. Joel Fuhrman 3-day juice cleanse. And I'm like, I'm doing this.
No way.
So I immediately went and got the juicer, and then it was the weekend. So I prepped everything for the weekend for the first 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at work. I brought it to work. Little did I know how difficult it was going to be my first time, especially being, you know, caffeine addict, junk food addict, you know. So at the time, I'll never forget, the first day was, you know, it was okay. I was a little weirded out that I wasn't eating, you know.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend at the time was doing it with me. We actually had went vegan together as well, but we started our journey with juicing as well too. So we both started this fast, and I was at FedEx. And then that night I started, you know, feeling a little bit of a headache because I wasn't having no caffeine. And then the next morning, getting up for work, I had my juices, and I was just like, I almost called in. I just did not feel good. And I ended up going to work though. And like a drug addict, I was so like, all my cravings were, you know. So I'm driving, and it's like 11 a.m. and I'm driving past it's called Culver's. It's a fast food chain in the Midwest, kind of like a In-N-Out or, you know, something like that. And I had drank my first juice, and I started having a headache. I was like, I'm starving. I'm like, I'm done. I'm not doing this no more. So I literally went into Culver's. I got a cheeseburger.
No way.
On day two. An order of cheese curds, French fries, a Dr. Pepper, I think it was. And I'm just sitting there eating. And my girlfriend even calls me. She's like, how you doing? I have a little bit of a headache, but I'm on my second juice. And I go, I'm at Culver's right now. And I ended up actually getting a Monster to fix my caffeine, you know. So it was just like a vicious cycle that I didn't realize how strung out I was on this stuff and how difficult it was going to be to, you know. So what had happened was, you know, I would make a juice here or there for like a few months. And then finally, I'll never forget, like it's in my before and after picture too.
Yeah.
It was Christmas time, and I was just looking at pictures of myself, you know, and here I'm over 30, and I saw the pictures of myself. I go, I just look terrible. I look unhealthy. It's the heaviest I had ever been. And I knew just seeing my family, like, you know, just being overweight, medicated, cancer, heart disease, like at a certain point, it's like you're at a crossroads. You either try to take initiative and take health into your own hands, or you're just going to be in this revolving door. Going into the new year, I said, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to do that 3-day fast. And I'm going to just commit every day this year drinking one of these 32-ounce green juices every day. Because a 32 ounce is roughly...
For a year, right? You said?
Just every day.
Yeah.
I didn't really put a limit on it. I just said, this is what I'm going to do.
One green juice a day.
Yeah, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm just going to incorporate it every day. Not change my diet, not do nothing crazy. And because what I realized is one 32-ounce juice is roughly between like 12 and 15 servings of raw vegetables, which is a lot. Like if you put that many servings on the table, you can't eat all that at one time. But the idea that you could drink it and juice it and cheat the whole process is powerful. So,
and the way it hits your cells is powerful compared to if you're eating just the celery.
Yeah, it gets into your bloodstream like alcohol, just as quick as alcohol. You know? It's a very fast absorption. So I did that, and I completed the 3-day fast, and also it was on a weekend. So I laid down the second day. I do remember I had a headache, but I wrote it out, and the headache actually lingered for a couple days. But I said I'm sticking to this, you know. And eventually I got over the headache aspect from all the caffeine and crap, And I completed a 3-day. And then I started incorporating the green juice every day.
Wow.
And that's how my journey started. I stayed committed to it. And it gets a little bit better with, you know, how I found going vegetarian and vegan and raw foods and everything. But that's kind of how my journey started.
Wow. Okay. Well, I want to talk about more about your journey in a second. But if somebody's watching and they're feeling like crap, right, like that right now, and they're like feeling overweight, depressed, tired, and they want to start a juice fast, like now knowing what you know, what advice would you give them?
Do it. To me, it's the most powerful thing you can do for your body. We are blessed that we are in a time where we have a tool that can do this for us, because water fasting is optimal, right? Like you hear people healing almost anything on water fast, but the idea that you could do a juice fast and still get the calories and still get like, you know, the taste and
still go to work. Like with water fasting, I think you have to be more home about, like, go to a retreat to do
right.
it.
There's there's levels to it, you know, and juicing is awesome, because when you start to master juice feasting, you could do it at your job, you know, and once you start doing that, and what I would say is this, like when I first got into it, if I would have heard somebody say, hey, why don't you just do it for a day just to see what it does to your body, just see how you feel, then do 2 days, maybe the following week, or, you know, but you have to know what you're getting into too. You're going to detox from the processed food, the processed sugars, the caffeine, the pharmaceutical drugs, whatever it is that you're, you know.
And yeah, I've heard you say that green juicing, or like the juicer even, I think, right? And green juicing is like one of the best modern tools we have for our body. And I couldn't agree more. Yeah. But so what do you say to people who are like, what about the fiber though? Like, why do you think the green juice helps us so much?
I wanted to piggyback off that real quick. I believe, I mean, unless somebody could prove me otherwise, it is the most powerful tool, because to heal, we need what? We need living foods. We need fruits and vegetables. Everybody's palate, I know mine, was not ready to just start flooding my body with a bunch of fruits and vegetables. And I hated greens. You know, I would never have drank this, just like, you know, so like I said, it cheats the process. You know, you can throw a little Honeycrisp apple in there, pour a little coconut water in there, but you're putting the dandelions, the parsleys, the cilantros, all the metal detoxers, you know, and you can alkalize the body. I mean, it's so powerful.
Yeah.
So to me, it's the best way to just, like I said, what it did for me, I was just incorporating it. You know, don't change your diet. Don't think crazy. You don't have to go crazy right away, but just start incorporating it. And as I talk more about my journey, I'll tell you what it did for me. As far as the fiber, of course, we need fiber. But the most important thing I realized was I was like nutrient depleted. I was eating nothing but fast, oily, processed, you know, overly cooked food that wasn't necessarily organic. So the idea that you're eating all that crap, where are you getting your nutrients, you know? So, and what you're going to realize is with the juices, you are going to flush your system out, you know? So it's almost like when you go vegan, where are you getting your protein? You know, when you're really not grasping like what you're getting as a whole.
And try it on yourself, right? Like try it on and look what it's done for you. And you've ended up, like, it was so hard for you to get through that first 3 day, but then eventually you worked your way up. I think you've done 40 days, right? So like, 40 days I want to get more to your story in a second, but like, how have the juice fasts impacted your life? Like the 2 week, the 40 day?
Tremendously. But briefly, I wanted to say with the fiber thing, you know, it's like, it's so funny because most Americans aren't even getting fiber. I mean, where are you getting your fiber?
Good
you know
point.
What I'm saying? So it's like,
that's a good point.
The thing is most people will say, I don't want to say it as an excuse, but they'll try to like, for example, you're doing something different. You're going vegan. Well, where are you getting your protein? Oh, you're juicing? You're taking the fiber out? You need the fiber. Okay, well, where are you getting the fiber? You know? So
that's a good point.
And that's what I like to kind of pose towards people, because it's like there's so many things that we immediately like get defensive about instead of just like listening on how it can actually really positively affect your body and ultimately change your life. Because that's what it did for me.
It's probably one of the biggest things to ever happen to you, right? To change your life, like all of this.
If it wasn't for the juice, if it wasn't for that film that I saw, I wouldn't be in LA right now.
Wow.
I probably wouldn't have had Noah right now, because once I went vegan, I adopted my little guy because I saw Earthlings. And so, yeah, I mean, it started with, and I said that on my website, it all started with one juice, you know, that's it. Wow.
Incredible. Okay.
It's not too complicated.
Back to your story a little bit. So then after the juicing and stuff, then you went like vegetarian, then vegan, right?
I saw Forks Over Knives.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm never giving up dairy. I don't care if I have diarrhea the rest of my life. I can't give up cheese. And I was vegetarian for about 3 months and then ultimately went vegan after seeing Earthlings. I saw Earthlings and went vegan overnight.
That's common. People are like, I can't give up the cheese.
Yeah.
Do you miss the cheese now?
No. And once you're away from it, I mean, 10 years in March, I've been vegan. And then once I talk about when I incorporated the vegan cooked food, it's like all that I really remember now is the vegan cheese on pizza and stuff. That's really not, the best. So no, I don't miss it.
Yeah. Wow. What a journey. So then, okay. So once you went vegan, did you notice like, oh, wow, I feel so much better? Did you experience big benefits or how?
Taking dairy out was the biggest game changer for me. I would say when I went vegetarian, I didn't notice as much of a difference as I did with just juicing and then also with taking out the dairy. And then I didn't stay vegan long because at the time there wasn't like, which I'm so grateful for because I was a junk food addict. At the time there wasn't Impossible Burgers, there wasn't Beyond Burgers, there wasn't all the Gardein. The only thing around that I saw at stores was like Amy's Pizza, and that was like
not that bad compared to, but yeah.
So at the time I was always YouTubing like juicing recipes, juice fasting, because after seeing that film, I'm like, I want to know more. Like, I never knew nothing about juicing, and this is what's actually helping me heal and helping me feel great. Because ultimately, like I said, once you start incorporating it every day, your taste buds start changing. You don't crave the crap. You're consciously knowing that, hey, I'm putting this work in every day, and that's what made me get away from alcohol. Because I was vegan, I was still going out partying, but I'm like, if I'm feeling good and better and spending all week, making my juices and watching what I eat, and then I'm going out and like partying and like, so I said, let me see what happens when I start taking out alcohol out of the weekends. And that's when things really went crazy, because then I'm not eating fast food at all. I'm not partying. So it was just like compiling these weeks together and just feeling better and better and better and losing weight, having more energy, having more clarity. The more energy you have, the more you can do in the day. I was happier. I mean, you think about it, you're just constantly drinking juices. 32 ounces went up to 64 ounces. Yeah. I was eating watermelon. I mean, and it's like, I think, I forgot who said it, but I heard somebody say once, it's like when you're eating living foods, you're going to feel alive. When you're eating foods connected to the earth, you're going to feel more connected.
That's a fact.
And that's what happened. It was like an awakening for me. And I got so passionate about it because I'm like, whoa, I'm 30 years old. I thought I was going to go down this route. Instead, I'm going down this route where I'm feeling better than I did in my teens and 20s.
Wow.
It's like,
and I know like a big part of the world and culture and socializing is like drinking, like you were doing. Like that was for me too. So was it a big shift for you? Like
huge.
Transitioning out of that, like your friends?
It was
and
huge.
Like, do you still feel as socially fulfilled, like not having that?
Well, this is what's cool. What you learn is, when you're transitioning and you're doing what's best for you, it's not like I isolated my friends. The real ones stick around. And I still have in Chicago, I have some very close friends that saw my journey, saw what it was doing for my journey. And, I have friends that whenever I'm with them, they'll eat vegan just because, which is cool. Or they all have juicers, so they all believe in it. They're all conscious enough to know. And we're at an age now where a lot of them don't even drink or anything no more. So at the time, though, for me, it was a little isolating because that was at the time, that was what I looked forward to, going on the weekends, partying,
me too.
Getting girls, dancing at clubs and, getting crazy drunk. But when I saw how good I was feeling and how like my skin started glowing and how every day was a good day.
You felt happier? Would you say?
Felt happier.
Probably so much happier compared to before when you were having like digestive problems, drinking, like eating crap, eating the energy drinks. It's like up and down, right? It's
not fun. Like when you feel like that, it's not a fun feeling. It's, when I look back, I was depressed too. You don't realize it. You think like you're having a good time because you're going, but I mean, think about it. I was working to go out and numb myself with alcohol and sex or whatever, it was like, that's all I cared about. So, and it's just like, it's a whole new world.
And then, so then at one point you went fully raw. Like
I went raw. Like I said, I wasn't vegan that long. I did a raw challenge and, of course, fully raw Christina.
Yeah.
Her and who I'm going to say right now are like my two biggest inspirations. Cause at the time they were the only ones on YouTube like that to me, they were like the pioneers that were like posting videos every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I'm like, I couldn't wait for them. Like every time the video would come,
I love it.
I was like looking, you know, so, and the other person I'm going to talk about is I'll never forget. I was looking at juicing, green juice recipes, and I saw green juice to heal something. I forgot what it was. And it was a man with a shirt off in front of an RV. And sure enough, Dan McDonald.
Legend.
He's my all-time fave. I saw him in Arizona. I've met him a few times. We've talked a lot. And I love that man. I mean, I'm forever grateful for him because he just has a way with his words and how to dummy it down for people who are just getting into it. You know, I mean, if you can't grasp it from his videos, I don't know what to tell you. So I saw his videos and he's talking about raw food. I think it was like juicing and raw food. And then I'm like, wow, it made sense, you know, like, cause I was already feeling good drinking the juices and stuff. And then it's like, let's see how this goes, you know? So I was doing the challenge and never looked back. Like that's kind of like how my journey was. It was mostly juices, smoothies, and eating fruit. And
I just feel like it's a butterfly effect. It's like a domino effect. One bad habit leads to another bad habit, or one good habit leads to another good habit. It's like you were saying with the drinking. It's like if you drink and you're hungover, then you want to go hit up Carl's Jr. or whatever the popular restaurants are here for that. Like you just want to eat more crap and get the energy drink. And then maybe hang out with those toxic people and maybe watch that garbage show. And then it's like that, right?
Yeah.
For the most part. Not always, right? But then if you start eating the good food,
it is
like
for the most part. It is for the most part, you know? And then it's crazy because, you know, like my journey took me in such a place that like I would never have even imagined, you know?
Yeah.
Like in my 20s, like if somebody would have told me, yeah, you're going to go vegan, an Italian is going to go vegan, you're going to give up pizza. And you're going to adopt this little dog. You're going to move to a different city and you're going to start a new life. And I would have said you're crazy.
Yeah.
Because I was so comfortable in that space of, you know.
And you've met all these people now. Like you were watching these people on the screen. They changed your life. And then like you've
Christina's
met Dan,
one of my best friends.
You've run into Joe.
I've run into Joe. Christina's one of my best friends. We talk often. Dan's awesome. I've run into Joe Cross. I'm forever grateful for him. These are people that, you know, because you see so many people online talking about this stuff, and it's like I always feel it's so important to pay homage to the people that showed us the way, you know, especially if you've healed something, or if you have started a journey of losing, because I lost like close to 65 pounds.
Wow.
So it's like if you go through such a drastic change like that and you have people that helped inspire it, it's like you're forever grateful for that. So I always feel like it's important for people like Christina and Dan to get the acknowledgement. And even Karen Calabrese, she was my mentor in Chicago. Like when I got into this and I was doing the raw foods, I'm like, raw foods in Chicago, Karen Calabrese. Like that weekend I went and saw her speak and I was like following her around. And then finally she's like, I did a video of her and I posted it and she DM'd me. Well, her assistant did. And she's like, hey honey, where do you live? Come out to my restaurant. Let's talk. And she's like, if you help me with some social media stuff, I'll feed you.
Yeah. Amazing. I love it.
So that was our deal for a little bit, but we ended up becoming great friends. And Karen to me she's like family to me, you know, like we talk often, and she showed me so much in this lifestyle. And
I think she's around 75, right? She's 75. In her 70s. And she just opened a restaurant. And this is what I love about I was telling you before we got on, a lot of like the long-term raw vegans I interview, like 70s, 80s, 90s, they're opening restaurants, they're doing podcasts, they're flying planes, they're like looking forward. They're not like looking back at the good old times. And do you feel like that's the case for you? You're my age, you're in your 40s, right?
Absolutely.
So you're not looking back, right? Like, the college days or the good old days, like you're looking forward.
Looking forward. You know, it's like, I heard Dan say this once, he's in this, not just for health and wellness, but also for like vanity. Like we're aging gracefully with this lifestyle, you know? Because it's like when you're living this lifestyle, like you said, you're not partying, you're not doing things recklessly. You know, you're like, at least for me, I love being in nature. I love a peaceful environment. I like peaceful relationships. You know, like I just like more peace. I'm away from all the chaos. So that has a lot to do with health as well.
And you look great. And you're taller than I thought. You're 6'1". Yeah, 6'1". You look really great.
Thank you.
You're shining and you're just such a good person. And so how has all this changed your life as a whole? I know for me, it's changed my whole purpose, path. Like, it's changed my life more than anything on this planet going raw. I can't imagine where I would be right now. I think I'd have serious health problems. And I don't know where I'd be if I didn't take this path. I was an alcoholic, like a mess. But how has it changed your whole path? And like, take us through maybe like the social media thing. Like you have a lot of followers. Like how was it blowing up on there and how did that all start?
Yeah, you know, it changed my whole path because it's like, I always wanted to have a positive impact. You know, we always want to have a positive impact in some way. And I don't know, I just was very blessed because when I started incorporating Noah in videos, the following started growing and growing and growing. And I always said to myself, I'm always going to live in integrity with this. Like, I'm always going to be positive. Like, I always want to have a positive influence, even if it's just making somebody laugh who's having a bad day with Noah or, you know, whatever it may be. But ultimately, the message was always planting seeds, you know, having Noah do something. Because I've had people reach out to me. Oh, I started following you because you're a dog, but then I bought a juicer. Now I'm vegan, you know, and like to me, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing because a lot of people, I would say majority of Americans don't understand how powerful our bodies are and how powerful food is and how we can pretty much prevent or reverse almost any chronic disease out there. You know, when you say this to people, they think you're crazy. I have neighbors that think I'm crazy, but it's like, but I've seen it, you know?
Yeah.
Like between the gut issues I had before my mom passed of an accident in 2020, she had reversed heart disease.
With juicing, right?
7 medications. Well, she went vegan and she was also juicing and making smoothies every day.
Wow.
7 meds. And she went to the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota and they wanted her to have open heart surgery.
No way.
So that made our bonds stronger. You know, she had lost like 25 pounds, got off all of her medication. So heart disease, right? That's the #1 killer. A good friend of mine, Lori Sloan, who lives in Colorado, she had stage 4 cancer.
Wow.
Doctors said she had 6 months to live.
Yeah.
They wanted to give her chemo. She refused. She went to Tijuana, Mexico, did the Gerson therapy.
And it healed her?
In 6 months' time or 7 months' time, something like that, 100, she went to the doctor and reversed it.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is that it came back 2 years later because she was in a stressful job with Nintendo. She was like really high up there. And
stress can do a lot too. Yeah.
Yeah. And she went back to Tijuana, did the Gerson therapy. And I interviewed her when I was out there last. I haven't gotten it on social media yet, but reversed it again, became a practitioner, opened a juice bar in Chicago with all like coffee enemas. And, you know, and I know there's some people out there that are probably like, oh, well, that's not this so-and-so's protocol but you know, there's so many different healing modalities and things you could do out there. So, you know, I do believe in a lot of the Gerson, like, which is mostly juices, vitamin C IVs, and that's cancer, you know? So cancer's #2. You could reverse that. I've worked with mastering diabetes. We've done retreats, type 2 diabetes, 4 days gone, whole food, plant-based diet, low fat. It's like, so that's diabetes, you know, dementia. You've heard Dr. Joel Fuhrman talks about, you know, with this diet. So I don't know what I like to say to people is why do you go vegan and fighting with carnivore, blah, blah, blah. I don't know any diet to this day that has, in my eyes, that people I know in front of me reverse chronic disease with any diet other than vegan or whole food plant-based diet.
And wait, okay, sorry to interrupt. This juice you brought me, this is freaking delicious. So what is this again? So
it's summer here in California finally. So black seeded watermelon is very abundant around me. Farmers markets, Sprouts. So it's black seeded watermelon. I have friends in Ramona, California that grow sugarcane. It's been growing for like 40 years. It's very dense. So it's fresh harvested, juiced sugarcane. And then I just squeeze a little bit of lime because it kind of neutralizes the sweetness. This is so good. Yeah, it's my favorite juice right now. Watermelon, and people on Instagram probably been seeing me post it. Watermelon and cane juice. I'm like, you guys got to use that combo because the cane juice has all the amino acids. So it's actually like perfect for working out. I take it to the gym because it's super hydrating and it's kind of like a good post-workout as well. So I bring like a 32 ounce and I drink like half of it to hydrate. And then afterwards, I pound the rest. Yeah. Okay. Well, great. It's so good. Thank you. And back to the advice for starting out. So, because there's so many different ways people can start, right? They could go raw till 4. They could go raw gourmet. They could go mono meals. And raw till 4 could be so easy. Yeah. 1 32 ounce juice, 1 32 ounce smoothie. Mm-hmm. You know, a smoothie as simple as like, I was just posting about this. Mango, banana, a couple dates, some coconut water is incredible. Mm-hmm. Incredible. It tastes amazing. And then juice some greens. And there you go. And then do what you want for dinner to start. And then you can get more strategic about it. And do you feel like there's anything like you've learned in this 10 years or like any mistakes you've made, like knowing everything you know now? So many. I mean, it's not a perfect journey. I mean, you know, it's especially in the beginning, like I said, after my first day, I went to eat a cheeseburger and pounded a Monster. So to me, it's like,
Yeah.
you have to have reason, like most people won't start it unless they finally had it. They finally say, hey, I don't want to be taking pills all my life. And it sucks because there's a lot of people, even in my family, that, like a medical diagnosis isn't the absence of disease. Most people think that because, oh, well, I'm not, I don't have a tumor, or I don't have a diagnosis.
True.
I'm healthy.
Yeah. Most people
and
don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't know how it is to feel truly healthy.
Yeah.
And you're like up leveling your life when you really know how it feels to feel truly healthy, right?
Yeah. And I will say, I'll bring this up. So I was saying I lost my mom in 2020 to an accident. So I was raw for 5.5 years. And the first couple of days were very difficult for me, as you could imagine. So I kind of stopped eating. Like I flew into Chicago with my girlfriend, and we went to the store. I bought some Black Diamond watermelons. We bought fruit, brought it home. And I was just like super depressed, was not eating. And we had a lot of family come over, and she has a restaurant in San Diego. So she started cooking like vegan potato tacos in the kitchen. And I just smelt it. And her being in the kitchen at my mom's house was like, it was just comforting. And I go, you know what? I'm going to have some tacos. I didn't care about anything at the time. And, it was comforting. So it helped me get through. So at the time I started incorporating the cooked food. And, I have a friend, Teresa Jordan, who's a great friend. I mean, I call her my mom out here, but, she's a raw chef. And she goes, Jonny, I'm telling you, if you ever eat cooked food, it's addicting. If you ever eat cooked food again, it's addicting. She goes, that first time you go raw, stay raw. She always used to tell me that. And it is. It's very addicting. And especially the way I was doing it, because the way I grieved, like I always say, I didn't really suppress it with anything. Obviously no drugs or alcohol or nothing, but I was eating cooked food. And cooked food, especially if you're eating at restaurants, could be like a drug. It's very addicting. I started experimenting. I'm like, you know what? I never... LA is like the mecca for vegan restaurants. Never went to Crossroads. And I hear people talk about it all the time. Pura Vita, I know the owner really well. And it's an Italian vegan restaurant. And she always used to say, I can't wait for the day that you start eating some cooked food because I want to feed you.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I got strung out on that place. I was going to I tried every vegan restaurant out there. And it's just so crazy seeing how, the journey of the raw got me really lean and got me feeling great and off the medication and losing weight and, creative and energy. And, when I lost my mom, I stopped making juices every day. I stopped working out. I stopped being conscious of what I was eating. I stopped moving. I was just eating like crap. And, over time I'd put on like 15, 18 pounds. And I just was in that space of not really caring. And it was like, it happened in 2020. I remember like coming up on the summer of 2021. I'm like, I got to pick myself up, because I would be on social media and I'm like, I'm in a good place, but grieving's funny, like you think you're in a good place and then, it's a roller coaster and it hits you. So it was like this up and down path. And, being 40, it was harder to navigate through that. And then finally finally last year, there was like this peace that came over me throughout the whole thing, because, I never had no regret or nothing with my mom's death, even though it was an accident and it was very sudden.
Yeah. It was just out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, it was. I was actually in San Diego and I get a call that they were in an accident. And then my mom, my sister had called me after and told me the news. Like she had FaceTimed me because I was like, are they okay? What's going on? And as I was talking to my aunt, my sister's FaceTiming me and she told me, and it's...
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was rough. And I'm so grateful I'm in a place now I could talk about it, because I could never talk about it without like losing my shit, like it was...
Well, no kidding.
It was hard. We were very close, mama's boy, Italian. There's like this special connection. There's a special connection with moms and sons anyway. And you hear these stories, like, oh my God, that's so tragic. But when it happens to you...
Yeah, like you never think it'll happen to you, right?
Yeah. And it definitely, it changes your life.
Yeah.
It's changed my life a lot, but I do feel like right now it's made me so much stronger, so much in so many ways. It's easy to say that, but it's like to go through it and it's just been,
wow.
It's been a journey for sure. But Yeah, so I feel like about 8 months ago. But what I was saying is we had such a good relationship. And like her last text to me was, because we were goofing around about something, her last text was, "No crying, I love you lots, mama's boy." She was just joking. And I'm like, wow, how crazy is that? That was the last text she sent me.
That's crazy. Makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
So we just had a beautiful relationship. I have no regrets with her. There was no anger. There was no resentment, nothing. So it was just getting over the fact that, how tragic it was,
Yeah, you don't expect it. You don't ever think that'll happen. How old was she when that happened?
She was 64.
Yeah, that's young. That's like around my mom's age.
Yeah, she was 64.
So when you're going through the hard times with all that, did you turn to alcohol or drugs at all, or just food?
I didn't. It was food.
Wow.
It was food. And, I think the last part of my journey that was of the grieving process that helped me actually get to where I've been over the last, I would say 6-8 months in a really good place is forgiveness. And It was forgiveness for the person that actually caused the accident, because he was on multiple drugs. He had shot heroin.
No way.
And he literally hopped the median, on a highway.
Stop. Wow.
Opposite side of traffic. He hopped the median. He was going over 100.
Was he running from the cops?
No, he was just, he had heroin in his system. He had all types of stuff. But
yeah, if you can forgive, I feel like that's the highest level. I have watched some of these YouTube things where they show people in a courtroom, somebody that murdered their kids and stuff, and you see them forgiving them and hugging them. I've seen videos like that. I'm just
yeah,
that's a whole other level of consciousness.
And I was just gonna say,
good for you.
It is a whole other level of consciousness, because a lot of my family doesn't understand. A lot of them still hold on to that anger. They're still wondering what's going on with this kid, with the continuance. Is he going to jail? It's
but then it can literally just eat you alive, and it can ruin the rest of your life.
Exactly.
And it shows on just get bitter and angry, and then it can affect your whole life.
Yeah.
That's one of the hardest things, to let these things go, right?
It was very hard, but I just started shifting my perspective a lot. What kind of life has that kid had that he was brought to that point where he's shooting heroin and so we really don't know people's paths. And, when you're caught up in it in the moment, of course you're angry. Who did this? You want to go find them and stuff. But yeah, over time, my faith got stronger, and forgiveness was the last piece of the pie for me that helped me really overcome everything and get back. And there was this piece, I would say it was around September, right when my mom had passed in 2020, but last year, where I felt this piece where it's okay, it's time to get back to you now fully. It's time to really, Yeah, I admire you so much, because it's just way less worse things have happened to me, and it's been really hard for me to let it go. So I'm just things that aren't nearly as bad as what's happened to you. So I just admire so much that you're not angry, and you're not angry at the person. Well, you realize too, you were just saying, there's a lot of things that maybe you hold on to or whatever. It's I realized my mom was taken like that. You think, because she was retiring in a month or two, she was planning on possibly moving out here to California, and she was going to be visiting more. And so you have this picture of how life is going to be, but I could leave here now. And
don't even say that.
Well, right. God forbid.
No, but I know.
But we don't know when our time is. So to live our lives holding on to stuff and in regret or angry or, and that's a big part of retreats that I do too, bringing in, it's great talking about the raw foods and the juicing and the fasting and the breath work and all these different things you can do. But if you're holding on to trauma, if you're holding on to anger or something that happened years ago, that's probably eating you away more than, anything else can. Like how they say, it's not about what you're eating, but what's eating you. So,
and yeah, it's definitely not all food.
Yeah.
A lot of things can affect us. And do you believe in the afterlife? And do you feel if you don't mind me asking, do you feel you connected with her since she's passed, or no?
I've connected with her many times.
I love
it. It's insane.
Wow.
In so many ways. I mean, I could sit here on a whole nother podcast, talk about some crazy stuff that's happened. I mean, so many different synchronicities, so many times where I'm just whoa, you don't want to say, oh, that's my mom, but you just know.
You're something's up. This is it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I actually, I connected my faith in Christ during this. My family was Christian, and she always wanted me to go to church and blah, blah, blah. And I was never connected with it. I was more into the, I'm spiritual and more, if you want to say the new agey stuff. And I actually had a profound experience when I did go to a church in San Diego, and I feel like that was a part of my healing process as well, just like just my faith in God. So that helped me through it as well. So yeah, I do believe in the afterlife.
Do you ever watch near-death experiences or no? I used to watch those all the time. Like where people temporarily literally die, and then they all say like a lot of these similar things.
Yeah.
They go to the other side, they feel like this light, they have a life review of their entire life, and they feel how the other person felt like when they're around them and all these things.
Yeah, I know. And I
think those are cool.
I have some really close friends who have, we all have different views, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends, believes that, it's like that this is a dream,
Yeah.
and when you die, you wake up from the dream.
Yeah.
So we really don't know, but
but we're here. We got to make the best of it, and you're doing just that.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And thanks for being so open about
it's
that.
It's like, while we're here, why not? Why not have a positive influence on everybody,
Yeah.
Help people. Like I said, to me, that's like my passion is I didn't know my body can do what it can. I didn't know my body can feel how it can. And I know so many people that are suffering that, don't realize that something like this can help change them. We get sucked into, especially if we're watching TV all the time, pharmaceutical drug commercial. And, we just think that's the way. And it's an easy way because it's taking a pill.
It's so like, we're still such a minority and so like abnormal, right? Even at the grocery store, I noticed my cart full of fruits and veggies. Like people still are all just staring like, what is going on?
I agree with that. I do think after like 2020, people are waking up a little bit more as far as, how much of an effect. We're lacking proper diet, nutrition. And, lifestyle.
Yeah, I agree. Well, my viewers have some questions for you too.
That's
and before I get into those, so I know people will want to know too, like what does a day in the life look like right now, and how are you eating right now?
So, because I know we were talking, I am mostly raw right now.
Yeah.
I was eating a lot of cooked food, but I'm in a place now where I've been, especially it's easier in the summer. So I've been doing mostly juices. The only cooked I've really been doing is I'll steam broccoli at night.
Yeah. Oh, that's
because I've been working out so much. I mean, I've been doing boxing for the last couple months, and we're burning like 600 calories in a class. So,
wow, amazing.
So I try to get like good quality burning protein in the form of broccoli. So I steam a lot of broccoli, put a little cold pressed olive oil, little lemon, and some Celtic salt, and just pound the broccoli. Smoothies, juices, fruit, lots of fruit. And that's basically what I've been consuming for the most part.
Yeah. Wow. Cool. Amazing. And that's good. So, and
that's been for, I would say, the last couple months. I've kind of stepped it up a little more.
And you find working out, you feel like because a lot of people think, oh, like eating mostly raw, do you still have enough energy with your workouts?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Once you get in that routine, like, it's funny because I'll go to the gym. Actually, like today I went at 8 a.m. to boxing, and it was a fast. Most of my workouts are fasted. Sometimes I go at 12. I don't eat nothing. And then afterwards, during and after, I have my juice.
Yeah.
And then I'll have a protein smoothie with lou's PURADYME products, which I'm obsessed with.
The guy's next level. The guy looks like.
Yeah. I talked about Karen. I talked about Christina and Dan, but Lou Corona to me is like, he's the man.
He's the man.
I told him, I want to take a picture. I want to get in the Karate Kid outfit, and you're Mr. Miyagi. Like, he's the man. Like, he's Yoda.
He's the man. He, I think, is the healthiest person in the world. Like, I'm not even kidding.
You see all these people on social media, but to see a 70-year-old man in person, you could see it in his eyes, his energy, his aura, everything. When people say that, when you're next to him, and you'll see it tonight, it's insane. He's a special man, and he's very humble, and I love him. He's awesome. Yeah,
that's awesome. And okay, so somebody was asking how long it takes to see results.
It depends. It depends on what kind of results we're looking for.
Yeah.
For me, once you get over, especially when I start incorporating the juices and you get over like the initial, if you're fasting, the initial headache and stuff, you do start noticing it right away. You start noticing because you're bringing more life into the body. You know, we don't realize how many dead, empty calories we're eating with potato chips, with a cheeseburger, with bread, with, what are you getting from that? I heard Dan say that once. It's like, you don't wake up in the morning and say, God, how am I going to get my protein today? It's like, no, how am I going to get my energy today? And most people are stimulated off Starbucks. Most all people are. So we should be getting it from food. And when you're fasting more, when you're drinking more water, when you're drinking more green juices or just juices in general, and more fruit, water-rich fruit, you're gonna start noticing it.
Yeah, for
more
sure.
life you put in your body, the more life you're gonna feel.
Yeah, 100%. That's just how it is, you know. And okay, somebody's asking how Noah is. Like, I should have told you.
Noah's incredible. You know,
yeah.
and I wish I would have. You know, I actually pondered it for a second. I'm like, I wonder if maybe dogs aren't allowed there, but whatever. But Noah's incredible. He's 9. He was an adopted dog. Without him, without Noah, this wouldn't be possible.
Wow.
He brought me to California. It's so funny because
I love it.
I always tell my buddy, I'm like, that I rescued him, and he's like, no, actually, man, like he rescued you.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's like he started building the account, and then I wanted a better life, like as far as like I wanted more sunshine, I wanted to be by the ocean, I wanted more quality food and produce. So I came out here, but ultimately he came out here. You know? It's like, he's living his best life.
He's living his best life.
And, you know, he gets blood work often. He's been
no way
plant-based for 8 months or 8 years.
8 years?
I'm sorry.
Wow.
And his blood work's great. His liver, everything's perfect. So, and if you saw him, I wish I would have brought him.
What kind of dog is he again? What's he called?
He's a Yorkie.
Yeah, my mom used to have a Yorkie. Oh, they're special.
They're so smart. And everybody, I swear, everybody who meets him or is around him, they're like, that's a human in like a Yorkie avatar.
And he's a celebrity in himself.
Yeah,
I wish he was here.
He's an interesting character. He's funny. He's just, he's different. I've grew up with dogs all my life, German Shepherds and smart dogs, but he's special. He was definitely, made for me. After I saw Earthlings and them talking about the puppy mills, and I'm like, I think I want to go adopt a dog. Yeah. You know, adopt, don't shop. So I went to a place and I saw him. I'm like, I want that guy.
Amazing.
And
meant to be.
It was meant to be. I'll never forget. I started juicing and he was barking at me. So I gave him a piece of kale, ate the whole thing. I gave him a carrot, ate the whole thing. Wow. And that's the thing that I'm blessed with is he'll eat anything. I mean, I put sea moss in his food. Yeah. Because he gets all home cooked, half raw meals. Yeah. And I put sea moss, I put algae, I put dulse. I mean, I put all types of stuff and he loves it. So.
I love it. That's so awesome. Yeah. Okay. And somebody was asking, how do you maintain your diet in a social setting? I'm keen to start this lifestyle. Could you please recommend some work around when your friends invite you to catch up and eat out who are not on the same lifestyle? That's very common. Yeah.
Yeah, it is common. But, you know, when you just, I know this is going to sound like some people won't agree with this, but you have to get to that point where when you just really start loving yourself to the point where what is important, you know, like reassessing our values. Is it just going out with friends and having surface level conversations at a bar or a restaurant? Or is it really like taking care of yourself the best way you can? And if you still do want to go to a restaurant, great. But you can, what I used to do, so because obviously, you know, when I was still living in Chicago, you know, I have a big Italian family, so we would still go to restaurants. I'd order a salad and I would bring in a Ziploc bag some spirulina, some hemp seeds, and I would make it like a superfood salad, you know? Ask for extra avocado. I mean, you could always improvise, especially now, you know, 2023, there's vegan options everywhere. There's, you know, juices and smoothies everywhere, but I wouldn't let like one social, and if your friends are your friends, they would accommodate, you know, what you're going through right now. You know, if you're trying to transition and you want something vegan, try to say, hey, let's meet here.
So true. Yeah, good point. And okay, the next person was asking, do you miss Chicago? Do you like LA?
I love Chicago. Yeah. I love LA, but you know, you don't realize until you leave Chicago how special that city is. I mean, I've traveled all over and Chicago has my heart. It's just especially in the summertime, it's beautiful, the lakefront and, you know, so many memories there. So I'm actually going there on Monday. I'll be back in Chicago for next week. Yeah. And I love going back every once in a while. But I don't think I could ever live there. The winters are brutal.
Yeah, I mean, from Canada, the winters are brutal.
When you experience one winter where it's sunshine and palm trees by a beach, you'll never go back.
Yeah, and are there good raw vegan restaurants here? There's some you recommend?
In Chicago, there is Chicago Raw, which is really good. Karen has her restaurant. Well, her
new one.
Yeah, I forgot what is the name of the town.
Karen's Kitchen. Yeah, I don't know the town she's in. She's outside of Chicago now, right?
She's outside. It's in Flossmoor.
Okay.
It's in Flossmoor, Illinois. It's like maybe 25 minutes, half hour from the city, but she has cooked options. She has raw options. She has a whole wellness center. That was another thing, you know, doing all the fasting and the 40-day fast I was talking about. She got me into colonics, hydrocolon therapy, which I was always like, I'm not sticking nothing near my butt, but she convinced me. And wow. I mean, game changer. You want to talk about 45 minutes, nothing but, and I'll never forget it was a 21-day fast I was doing 6 months into being raw. And I did my first colonic, and the whole time crap was just coming out.
No, I know.
It was insane.
It's insane. Colonics are life-changing. I love colonics. And lots of people are asking about Noah. Tons of people are like, Noah this, Noah that. So yeah, bodybuilding. I think somebody meant to say, is fruit enough for bodybuilding? But you don't eat only fruit anyway, right?
I don't eat only fruit, but I would say if you're interested in somebody who's doing that, go check out Ted Carr.
Yeah.
Ted Carr's, he's the real deal, man. I mean, I was at the Canada Fruit Fest with him, a speaker at his fest, and he's just, I've met him a few times, but I mean, look at him.
Yeah. I interviewed him in person like a month ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
He looks so good. He's so fit now. He looks good.
Yeah,
he said when he started adding in creatine, that's when he started getting more fit. Do you use creatine or no?
I don't use creatine, but I do a lot of different things. I never used to take supplements at all, but I have supplemented for the last like year and a half, Shilajit, which I think is awesome. Ashwagandha, I've been doing hardcore because I saw it's good for like male hormones and stuff. And I do notice a difference in like energy and some strength. And, you know, because after you turn 40, you know, you start, you know, especially the way I was eating before I started picking myself back up. But yeah, I've been incorporating some stuff. Never really, I used to do the creatine back in the day, but no, when I work out, I just kind of, you know, do my juices and that's it.
Okay. I don't know enough about creatine yet, but I want to ask you too, like, where do you think you'd be right now if you didn't take that path 10 years ago? If you didn't see Joe Cross's documentary, if you didn't like...
Well, I mean, I love my family, but if you just look, I mean, chances are, I mean, even on my biological father's side of the family, my mom's side of the family, I mean, that Italian lifestyle, I would probably still be overweight, you know, sick all the time on medication and unhappy, you know. You don't realize it until you're out of it, but you know, I mean, it's just incredible how you can literally feel, I mean, even just from last year, you know, like picking myself back up and feeling great again. You know, it's like...
So there's hope for people, you know?
There's hope. And one thing I do want to point out is, you know, like, because I went on the journey, because you said, is it an easy journey? I went on the journey, like, with obviously going raw, and then when losing my mom, I realize now how difficult it is to pick yourself up. And that was just all vegan restaurant processed food, you know, like, I knew what I had to do too. Like I knew the tools, you know, you got to get back to juicing, but I didn't have the willpower, and it was because I wasn't moving and I wasn't eating right. You know?
And it's almost worse though when you know, don't you feel like if you're off the wagon like that and you know that you should be like juicing?
It's depressing because it's like, this isn't me. This isn't what I'm committed to. I know I need to be doing this, but I needed some type of push. I needed something to, you know, and I actually started a protocol, Dan's protocol with the PURADYME. Yeah. Got obsessed with the PURADYME products because I was taking like 42 supplements a day. Wow. From PURADYME, the enzymes, the cleanse powder, the MSM.
I feel like out of everything. I'll link their stuff below. It's the best.
Unbelievable. And you'll see tonight.
Yeah.
When you go to his enzyme powder, how powerful it is. Like he does this demonstration with cooked oatmeal, you know, and he talks about, you know, when you cook it, you kill it. So it has no life force in it. So with the enzymes, you're putting the life back in it. So he puts the enzymes in it, and it doesn't liquefy it, nothing. Just puts the powder on it and starts stirring, and it liquefies it.
Yeah.
Breaks the fats down to fatty acids, the carbs into glucose, and the protein into amino acids. So it's easy for your body to assimilate. So incredible products.
Yeah,
the
best.
I felt they kind of helped. Yes.
And like, yeah, so that's what I love too.
So much integrity in that, man. And his products.
And somebody was asking, do you have a girlfriend? I think you do, right?
I do have a girlfriend. Yeah. I've been dating a girl for 3 years. She has a restaurant, a vegan restaurant in San Diego. It's called The Village. It's half Japanese, half Mexican. Cool. Vegan fusion.
Wow, no way.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. And do you feel like you would only date vegans?
I used to say that, but you know, I'm very open. I mean, there are some stuff that I look for that I would want, but I definitely health conscious, you know, and open to it if you weren't. So
okay. And somebody was asking, they were asking how tall you are and what you weigh. We know your height already, and your racial background.
I'm probably around like 180ish right now, I would say. That's usually like my weight, like between like, I'm always like around 178, 185ish.
Yeah. Cool.
So
yeah. Cool. Yeah. Hey. Oh, we have another amazing raw vegan in the house. Elizabeth Lambert. Oh my gosh. This is the first time I'm seeing her. You look stunning. Thanks. You're so nice. Okay, we'll be right there. We're just finishing up.
Hi, Jonny. Nice to meet you.
Jonny Juicer? Yeah, you probably know.
Yeah, I used to speak at all of the raw spirit festivals and all of that.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sure I passed it. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
You are so hot. You look so good. No, it's okay. We're just finishing up. Okay.
I'm going to bring these in and I'm going to put them.
We'll see you in a sec. No, it's our first time. I'm so excited. We talk all the time, so it's great.
So cool.
Elizabeth's been on the channel before too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Okay. And like I said, everybody was asking about Noah. We already know that. And somebody said, how do you get your pet squirrel to do all those
racial background? I'm completely Italian.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah,
my
that's what I
dad's
thought.
side of the family was Sicilian, and my mom's side.
Do you ever
is
go
like
to
Northern
Italy?
I'm supposed to go in September.
Oh
for
my
the
God.
first
I
time.
always think if I went to Italy, I'd have to just eat everything. How do you manage being there?
I hear the food's different. I mean,
You going
obviously,
for the first time?
Yeah. I was actually supposed to go with my mom and family like a year after, like right after she had passed. So,
Wow.
but I hadn't gone, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm supposed to be going in September, so a couple weeks.
Awesome. And do you know the Juice Feaster? He's
that
there.
guy. Love
He's
him.
there right now. His stories, he said, like I think you can manage it fine there because they're
He's-
showing like orange juice at the side of the road
Yeah.
everywhere, fresh lemonade.
Dan's there too.
I didn't know he was in Italy right now.
Yeah, he's
Oh, no way.
been posting videos.
Yeah.
and I think he's trying to live there. At first, I thought he was just there because he really didn't say why.
Italy though?
And then he's like, yeah, he was
Wow.
he was in Italy.
I thought he was in like Germany or something. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was in it. I'm almost positive he was in Italy. And then he's like, and I think I'm gonna get a bike, and I think I'm gonna stay here for a little bit. I'm like, oh, but that's always been Dan's style.
Yeah, I love
bounces
it.
around all over. I went and saw him in Arizona last year,
Yeah,
and we did a video together.
that's awesome. Well, this has been amazing. I've loved having you on.
Yeah, this
And
was cool.
next time we got to bring Noah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That was my bad, guys. I'm
Yeah.
really sorry. But yeah, if there's anything else.
He wasn't on the invite. Actually, he was
Yeah.
a little disappointed.
No, I didn't even think. I just assumed he would be here. And then I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, if there's anything else you want to share with us, like any inspiration or anything, maybe somebody's sitting at home going through a hard time or like anything that comes to mind you think we missed, and let everybody know where they can find you. I don't know if you have books. Do you have books or like anything people
I have
can go grab?
ebooks. I have ebooks. If you're looking to transition your dog into plant-based, yeah, I have Noah's ebook. I have a juicing ebook. The website, JonnyJuicer.com. Instagram's my main hub, Jonny_Juicer. The last thing I would say is just, always know that, because I never knew that my body could feel how it could, or it can change, or it can transition, or you can reverse diseases, but just always what I did was I blocked out all the distractions and really just hone in on what it is you're trying to do, like whether it's trying to heal something, if you want to lose weight, because you can do it. And it's just life-changing when you actually, you don't realize how powerful food is until you actually start applying it, because most people, and I'll say this is one of the last things I'll say is I know people that have tried juicing, but they work like corporate jobs and they'll go to a juice bar in like LA and it's like $15 for a juice for like something half this size.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I didn't really feel anything of it. But it's like, adopt a lifestyle. Commit yourself for maybe just 21 days incorporating one of these every day.
And it's so much better making it fresh, right? Don't you agree?
So
Than
much better.
picking the ones up that are bottled a couple
The
days ago.
intention, the love going into it, you know it's all organic where you're getting it from. But just try it for 21 days. And I guarantee you, like, you're going to notice changes. But doing it once a week isn't really gonna. You have to kind of adopt a lifestyle. Like you go to Starbucks every day to get a coffee.
Yeah.
Drink a green juice every day. The green juice to me is the new an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Green juice a day keeps the doctor away.
It's the best thing. That's right. It's like if anybody could do one thing,
Yeah.
just start fresh green juice, not the ones you pick up that are bottled days ago.
Yeah.
Because the life is there, more enzymes in life, and it's different.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. And everybody go follow Jonny. He is amazing. It's been so nice to have you on. We have to have you back again next time I come to LA, and we'll get Noah. And there's just so much more we could even talk about. There's so much to you. And I think there's so much to you too because of the hard times you've gone through, right?
Yeah.
It's, it's not all easy in life. And those times build character and they build you into the person you are, and you're an amazing person.
Totally. I appreciate that. It's my pleasure. This was awesome. I was looking
Well,
forward
give me a
to
hug.
it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe if I come to Toronto, we'll do it out there.
Oh, yeah. That would be awesome. I'll take you to Raw Aura. It's such a good restaurant out there.
Oh, cool.
Oh, it's the best.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you don't already. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.